Hello everyone, and welcome to the weird, scary and horrible parts of humanity. Today we are exploring American-born George Henry Lamson, who was one of the few Americans executed overseas. He intended to commit murder in order to maintain his growing morphine addiction. Born on the 8th of September 1852 in the United States of America, George Henry Lamson was the son of Julia Wood Schuyler and Reverend William Omer Lamson, who were married 2 years before his birth. His maternal great-grandfather, Philip Jeremiah Schuller, who is pictured to the left, was a member of the United States House of Representatives for New York's 5th District from 1817 to 1819, as well as a member of the New York State Assembly, representing Dutchess County and Albany County between 1797 and 1799. Lamson's uncle was Robert Sands Schuyler, who was a prominent architect designing, amongst other buildings, St. Andrew's Episcopal Church in Jacksonville, Florida, St. George Episcopal Church in Jacksonville, which is to the left, Tabby House on Fernandina Beach in Florida, which is in the middle, and Fairbanks House in Fernandina Beach, which is on the right. Lamson studied medicine at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland. In 1871, Lamson, a practicing doctor, travelled to France during the Franco-Prussian War to work as part of a French ambulance corps during the 1871 siege on Paris. The Franco-Prussian War was a 6-month war from the 19th of July 1870 until the 28th of January 1871 between France and Prussia, resulting in Prussian victory and 144,642 German casualties, as well as 756,285 French casualties. The war saw the unification of the German Empire, also called the Second Reich. For his work, Lamson received a Legion of Honor, the highest French order for military and civil merits. However, it was during this time that he developed a strong dependency on morphine. Lamson then volunteered as a surgeon in Serbia and Romania, credited with cutting death rates by 30% in his ambulance while serving with the Romanian Army during the Russo-Turkish War. The Russo-Turkish War lasted between the 24th of April 1877 and the 3rd of March 1878, with the war between Romania, Russia and Bulgaria against the Ottoman Empire. The conflict saw northern Dobruja pass to Romania from the Ottoman Empire, and southern Bessarabia passed from Romania to Russia. Following the conflict, Lamson settled down in the United Kingdom and in 1878 married 21-year-old Kate John. Lamson, by this stage, was a hopeless drug addict. Desperate to fulfill his morphine addiction, he harassed his relatives, parents, and friends for money. He then set up a medical practice in Bournemouth, which did not perform well. He lived significantly beyond his means while living in Bournemouth, living in a new detached house, and owed his landlords, Rebecca's estate, £40. His financial situation grew desperate, with creditors pressing for the payment of bills and cheques bouncing. He ended up changing addresses and falsifying illnesses to avoid being caught. Lamson's wife was one of 5 orphaned siblings who were joint inheritors of a family trust. Herbert John died suddenly in 1879, leaving Kate, her sister in Shanklin, and her brother Percy Malcolm John, who was 18 years old, and a hemiplegic, boarding at Blenheim House School in Wimbledon, the sole survivors of the family. Under the guise of travelling to Florence, Italy to visit his father, Lamson visited Percy Malcolm John on the 3rd of December 1881. Percy Malcolm John was set to inherit £3,000 as part of his family trust. If he was to die, the funds would go to Lamson's wife and his sister-in-law. At the time, this was enough to sustain Lamson for life. Lamson bought a rich Dundee cake, which was cut into pieces and tea for the headmaster of Blenheim House School, William Henry Bedrook, and his brother-in-law. He then informed John of a new American invention, a gelatin capsule, which he assured John would help with his nausea. To illustrate his point, Lamson filled a capsule with sugar and asked John to take it. The capsule, as well as some of the raisins in the slice of Dundee cake given to John, were later found to contain aconitine, a toxic poison which Lamson had bought from a London pharmacy a few days ago. Lamson learnt about the poison from Professor Robert Christensen at the University of Edinburgh during his student days, and was told that the poison was undetectable. However, forensic science had improved since his day studying medicine at the University of Edinburgh. Following his meeting with John and Bedrook, at 7:32 p.m, Lamson took the train to central London, remarking to Bedrook that John's spine seemed to be getting worse and he did not think that he would last long. John then began to experience stomach stress and lost consciousness before dying at 11:30 p.m. Ever the conman and desperate for money, Lamson attempted to sell allegedly secret information and inside knowledge to newspapers on the death of his brother-in-law and was promptly arrested. A specialist made extractions from Percy's vomit, stomach fluid, and urine and tasted them, feeling a burning sensation indicative of aconitine. The drug was identified in capsules removed from John's room at Blenheim High School. A mouse was injected with an extract from one pill and was killed in 4 minutes. With bail declined, at the magistrate's court, a scared Lamson cried, "I shall go mad." Perturbed by his crime, Lamson's father, who since 1881 had been minister of the American Communities Church in Florence, Italy, wrote to a London newspaper, informing them that his son had made no mention that he was in financial difficulties, and that if he had reached out, he would have been more than willing to support his drug-addicted son. Lamson went to trial at the Old Bailey in February 1882 and was sentenced to death. Having been sentenced to death, allegations of insanity from the Lamson family doctor back in America began to surface and were pushed by President Chester A. Arthur. It was alleged that insanity had developed during Lamson's years of war service, as well as allegations that Lamson's family had died in insane asylums. As a result, Lamson's scheduled date of execution on the 4th of April 1882 was postponed. However, with new evidence rejected, Lamson was hanged at Wardsworth Prison by William Marwood on the 28th of April 1882. Thank you for watching. Please do yourself a favour and hit that like and subscribe button and the bell icon to inform you when new videos come out. It helps more than you know and your support is truly appreciated. You'll also be seeing 2 other videos for you to check out. Until next time, stay awesome, stay classy, be kind to everyone you meet, and have an amazing day.